The third chapter of the Patanjali Yoga Darshanam, the Yoga Sutras of the Maharshi Patanjali, the Vibhuti Pada, is a very, very important chapter in which various dimensions, aspects, and practices regarding concentration, meditation, and the samadhi, the last three angas of the Ashtanga, are discussed in this. Apart from it, the various practices, results, benefits, transformations are also discussed, which are termed as the pratyayas. Then the various terms which come in this particular pada is the three types of transformations, parinamas. And what are the benefits, vibhutis, the powers of the mind. In Indian philosophy, in our culture, we keep on listening that the yogis have, can develop various powers which are inexplicable even to the modern science. The powers of the mind, the tremendous potential energy of the mind, which when it expresses, it has an immense effect in a day-to-day life, in one's own life, and in general to the entire society. And various types of powers, various stages of the powers, and various utilities of the powers, and all such topics are discussed in this. A caution is needed, as Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says that the powers of the mind, developing them, expressing them, manifesting them, using them, even it is for the benefit of the society, he says it's very dangerous. We should not get attached to it. And a sense of ego, a sense of ahankara develops, and which again will be an impediment in crossing over, in overcoming, or in jumping to the still more higher, still more deeper layers of the sadhana. With this caution that the powers of the mind, the vibhutis, may be a little tempting, may be milestones, but still we should be extremely cautious and careful not to be motivated, not to be guided, not to be directed by this expression and manifestation of the powers. We saw that in the second chapter, the discussion went on Kriya Yoga, then on the kleshas, the 5 kleshas, then various results, then Ashtanga Yoga. There is discussion also on the dukkha, and all the 5 angas, concluding with the pratyahara or the bahirangas explained in the second chapter. The last 3 angas of the Ashtanga Yoga were taken in the 3rd chapter. For this very reason, that dharana, dhyana and samadhi are internal. They are very intimate. They are very close than the external, outward. When we say it is external or outwards, as we have already seen in the 2nd chapter, it was more concerned with the behavior, emotions, the breathing, the body, and senses, the power of the senses, the behavior of the senses. And it is all external. External is external to our own content of the mind, the chitta. As it was already expressed that though mind is not the correct English word for the chitta, but for our convenience we are using the word. As all of us know that there is a subconscious mind, there is an unconscious mind, and of course the conscious mind, the conscious state of ours, the subconscious state of ours, the unconscious state of the ours. And these 3 states of the mind, all put together, the core, the basic, the foundation, that is the chitta. We have used it as the functional modifications of our core being. And that outside of the chitta, anything which is not the chitta, and that is all bahiranga, external. Even though it is internal, but still separated from the chitta, outside the chitta. So in the Vibhuti Pada, the entire subject matter is the mind, the chitta, which is completely isolated from outside, from the external. And it is only under these conditions, an absolutely isolated, separated chitta alone can be a perfect, successful practice of dharana, dhyana and samadhi. That is how the practice of pranayama gives ability to the mind. Dharana sucha yogyata manaha, we have seen it. So all this antaranga yoga, dharana, dhyana and samadhi can be successfully practiced. We will be able to be victorious in the practice of concentration, meditation and the samadhi only when the mind is, when the chitta is isolated, free from all the emotions, breathing, body, sense behaviors and various types of karmashayas, all those inflictions, all those temptations, all those tendencies, all those samskaras, when all that has been purified, then the mind becomes ready, free for launching, diving deep into the practice of dharana, dhyana and samadhi. That's why all the above 5, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, are the preparations, and they are very much needed, though they are basic and fundamentals, without which a right, correct, progressive practice of the antaranga yoga is not possible. We see many people, many of us, all of us, we keep on saying that I am meditating, I am concentrating, I am in meditation, I am doing meditation, I am practicing meditation. What exactly happens? What exactly we do? We sit quietly somewhere in a corner of the room, or absolutely alone, cut off from the external. But what happens in the mind? Are we really free within ourselves? Is our chitta exactly isolated? Then alone the practice of dharana, dhyana, samadhi comes. We shall see all these dimensions. What is dharana? What is dhyana? And what is samadhi? And Patanjali brings out a beautiful terminology in the 3rd chapter. It is called as the samyama, he calls it. The 3 practices put together. And performing this samyama on particular objects gives rise to the unbelievable powers which cannot be explained, inexplicable to the modern science, even to our own understanding, to the normal understanding of our life. Sometimes the explanation of the powers, experience of the powers is so deep that it's all unbelievable. But we should remember that when Maharshi Patanjali talks of these vibhutis, he opens up gates, he opens up the locks, unravels the inner powers of the mind. And our own chitta, we ourselves as individuals, become one with the entire world. And then when we become one with the world becomes one with us. And that identity gives immense power. And these vibhutis, though seems to be unthinkable, unbelievable, but when it is expressed in Yoga Shastra by Maharshi Patanjali himself, it means it has a value. They are achievable, they are attainable, and they are not just an imaginary expressions and ideas. These attainable powers are possible. And if possibility was not there, it could not have been expressed. Expressed means there are possibilities, infinite possibilities, and engrossing in those infinite possibilities, opening up, rising up, awakening, realizing these infinite possibilities of powers. That system of techniques are the subject matter of this Vibhuti-pada. The first 3 sutras deal with the definitions of each anga. And the next 2 sutras, the 4th, 5, 6, the 3 sutras, they talk about the samyama. The Sutra 7 and 8 is a comparison between the Bahya and the Antaranga yogas. The 9 to 12 is the manifestations of samabhattis, the various parinamas, transformations. And the Sutra number 13 to 15 is a wonderful discussion about the various inner deep manifestations. And from the 16 to 48, these sutras are all about the siddhis, about 54 psychodynamic and physiodynamic powers of the samyama. What can happen to the human body and the mind? What can we achieve by practicing of samyama? That will be the listing of the siddhis. And the last 6-7 sutras are about the characters of the consciousness related to the siddhis. So the entire chapter is a wonderful chapter which deals with our regular practices and most important sadhana in the Yoga Shastra, in the life of a yogi, in the daily routine of a yoga practitioner. Let us see and understand these wonderful sutras of the Vibhuti Pada. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.